Today, first thing Baba is saying is wake up early in the morning, and then when we wake up, what do we do next? We churn on the knowledge that Baba has given us, and we remember Baba. Now, the first thing is waking up early in the morning. Now, you see, the morning, and Baba uses, in Hindi it's savere savere. So it's not morning, it's early morning. So Baba says, wake up at Amrit Vela, 3:34, that's the time to get up. Now, first Shrimat we have to follow first, because when Baba says it's important to wake up early morning, then there is a lot of importance in that hour of the day. And you see, most people are asleep at that time, and the environment is very peaceful and pure. And there is no, and that's the time to actually have a spiritual pilgrimage of remembrance. So, and when we get up, so the instance we get up, our mind and buddhi are in a state where they absorb very easily. So whatever we do first thing after getting up, that goes into our subconscious and unconscious state. But the thing is, do we take care to get up first early in the morning? Because there are many Baba's children also who say, we get up at 5 or 5:30 or 6 but and then there is a plea always that we hear that there is nothing to do after that. So if I get up at 4, then 4 to 5, okay, I'll sit and meditate, but then 5 to 7, what do I do? Because my day starts at 7. So let me get up at 6, and then from 6 to 7, let me do it. So this is something that I've heard over the years, that many children, because they're honestly sharing whatever they feel, so they tell that. But the thing is, at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., it's not the same environment as it is at Amrit Vela. And the most important thing is, it is Baba's Shrimat to get up at Amrit Vela. So first underline that. Second thing is, what do you do when you get up? So there was this one Mata, and she told me something very nicely. She put it very nicely. She said, Didi, it's not just we BKs that get up in the morning, but there are people in the world also who get up in the morning. So she lived in an army campus for very long. So she said most people there were getting up at early morning, 4 o'clock also, many get up. But the thing is, Baba tells us what to do when you get up. Because when people get up early in the morning, the first thing they do is pick the newspaper. And that is a very unhealthy habit. And Baba says that when you get up in the morning, churn this knowledge and remember Baba. Now you see, Baba tells us today that knowledge that Baba gives us is primarily about the beginning, middle and end. And you see, we all have a story in mind. What is my beginning, middle and end? So do you have a story in mind about what is your journey? So everybody has that story in mind if you look deeply inside. And when somebody comes So when you visit a psychologist or anybody, the first thing they ask you is tell about yourself, tell about your life story. And even in the center, when somebody comes, I have this practice of asking them what they want to share about their life. And invariably, it has been observed that when people start sharing about their life, they remember all the milestones where there was sorrow, hurt, betrayal, and all the things that went wrong. And they talk about it in great detail. And then after that, when I ask them, okay, so this is what you have shared, but didn't something go right in your story? So what were the good things that happened? And then they take a pause and then they take some time to share that. So you see, although we spend so many seconds in 24 hours in a day, if you calculate, one day also has so many seconds, 1 minute has 60 seconds. But you don't hold it as a part of your memory, do you? So when you think about your life in a nutshell, you remember certain milestones. Yes, you lived a childhood for 10 years, 15 years, but then out of those 15 years, you remember one or two scenes. And then after that, you remember certain. So when I think about it, from my life that started this birth, from early childhood till I came into Gyan, I remember very little things now, very less. I don't remember most of it. But most people, so what I'm trying to say is, you lead a very big life, but then you don't remember all of it. You remember just certain milestones of it. And that is your story about your journey. And of course, we don't remember the past and other stuff and what we did in previous births. But then, just like, your parents, physical parents, they will give you an idea of those things which you don't remember. So, there was this one brother, and he told me, when I was born, it rained heavily. And then I asked him, do you remember that it was raining heavily when you were born? So do you have that memory? So he said, no, my mom keeps repeating that, and she says that, you were born just like Sri Krishna, and just like when Sri Krishna was born, it was raining heavily. So you were also born like that. And so you see, there are many instances from our life which we don't remember, or that was not part of my memory, but because parents keep telling us, or this happened or that happened, so that is also part of our active memory. It's not just that they told us, but you also have a sense of who you are based on that. And then here is our unlimited parent, Baba, who is telling us our whole story. And Baba says that I tell you the entire story from when you were in the soul world to when you were in Satyug, Treta Yuga, and then how you fell and how you lost everything. And then I also tell you the most important aspect of your journey, that right now maybe everybody is in Kali Yuga, but you are not in Kali Yuga. You are in your diamond age, and you are in the best time of your whole journey. You are sitting in Baba's lap, you are taking sustenance from the Almighty, And this is the most important part of your journey, where you are transitioning into, or you are creating the sanskars and absolving your sins so that you can go to Satyug. So Baba says that I'm giving you the knowledge of what is your beginning, middle, and end. And this is actually the milestone of my journey. If you look at it, and then you see Baba has also given us a different story about our journey, where he says that when you come to the copper age, don't think about yourself as the one who fell, but think about yourself as the one who was being worshipped in the temples. So Baba gives this whole narrative of our beginning, middle, and end, and also the narrative of the whole world. So you see, we have a personal idea about what happened to me and what happened in my journey, and then you also have the world history and regional history and national history in your awareness. And you see, that also impacts you a lot. So have you seen that when people describe themselves, they say this happened to we people and this happened to us. So they always talk in these collectives where they are talking about this happened to people of our religion or our nationality, and this happened to the people of our region. So this is something that is also part of your awareness of who you are. So Baba says that I am giving you the world history also, the beginning, middle, and end history of the world also. So you were in the deity clan, and then you became a worshipper, and then you became somebody who was worshipping God, and then the other religions came up, and then now you are with Baba, who you called out for so long. So Baba says that you have to keep churning on this knowledge of the beginning, middle, and end that I give you. And only when you churn it, it will become part of your awareness. And you see, everything that we do, everything that we get is a product of our awareness. And if I am not able to change my awareness of who am I, what happened to me, what is my story, what happened to my people, which clan I belong to, which group I belong to, if I'm not able to change that story, then my awareness of who am I and what is my potential will stay very ordinary. And in that way, we will again keep doing the same thing and then keep getting the same thing. So Baba says, I am giving you this very profound knowledge of who you really are, what is your journey, what is the journey of your religion, which religion do you belong to, which clan you belong to, and keep churning on it. And when you keep churning on it, then it. So if you look at, if you look at what is it that you hold in your awareness about your journey, then it's also always a product of what you churn on. So let's say 10 things happened in a day, but you picked up one thing and you thought about it, then that becomes part of your memory, and then it becomes part of your awareness and attitude. But the other stuff, it just fades away. Yes, and even while things are happening, we are choosing, the more you focus on something, it gets registered inside. So Baba says that now you keep churning on this unlimited truth about your journey. And when you keep churning on this, I'm this soul who was in the soul world, and then I came, I'm part of the highest clan, I belong to the deity clan. We lived in happiness for 2500 years. And then, after that also I was a worship worthy soul who was worshipped in the temples. And then now I am in my diamond age, living the best time of my life. So is this the story you keep telling yourself, or is the story something different? Because this is the true story being told by the ocean of truth. But if there is another story that you're telling to yourself, then that story and the implications of that story will be very different from the implications of this story. And so Baba is today giving us a very and the Baba says that this is the method to stay constantly happy. Because if you churn on the knowledge that I have given you about the beginning, middle, and end, and you remember me in the morning, in the early hours, then that will become part of your subconscious memory, and then that is what will keep you happy all day. And you see, these days, people are doing just the opposite, and that's why they are unhappy all day. So, they are always focusing on and churning on what went wrong, what went bad, and then that is happening. And I remember there was this one incident when I was sharing something on the stage, and then somebody asked me, why don't you tell us about your struggles? And then I told them, I have not had any struggles in this birth. I have been very blessed, and every step has been, just a bed of roses. And then they said, that's why, you are into spirituality and stuff and that. And then, I told them, you see, this is the choice that we make. It's not that, so we understand it is Kali Yuga, and we understand that many things happen, but then Baba has taught us to know that you must have the attitude that it happened, but it didn't happen to me. Yes, it didn't happen to me, and it happened, but I was sitting in Baba's lap. And I think about the protection I received, or the help I received, or the support I received at that time, not about what was happening at that time. So this is a conscious choice that you make. And whether you want your life to be, you want your version of your life to be a romantic story, a tragic story, a story of fortune and happiness, or a story of, great misfortune and mishappiness, is up to you, because that story you are writing for yourself and you are living it within yourself. But the interesting thing is, we have this, I remember there was this one Mata, and she was our neighbor when I was growing up. And she would get beaten up all day by the husband. But in the evening, she would sit with all the mothers of that, that locality, and she would share that she's a victim and how her husband is a bad person. And then everybody would sympathize with her. And she used to get up after that meeting very happy. And I found that very strange always. And I used to ask my mother, does the pain of the husband beating reduce when she receives validation from others that, the husband is a bad person and she's a good person? Then does the pain of the beating reduce? So my mother used to say, I don't know how to answer your questions, and you keep your questions to yourself. I don't have answers. So, but this is the thing, we don't mind the pain, but we mind not being the victim. So this is a very deep psychology, that people do not want to let go of victim consciousness. So if something has happened and I tell myself it happened to me and I suffered and I was the victim there, and then people sympathize with me, there is some kind of psychological satisfaction that you derive from it, that you want to hold on to that story. You don't want to let go of that version of your story. And now, what do you feel about your childhood question? I feel that obviously, if something is happening, then when I discuss it and when somebody says, you were the victim, that doesn't reduce my pain. So I have to start, I have to think about changing that life story. Whether it is changing, if it is possible to report it or something and change that situation, okay. But if it is not, then also using my spiritual powers and changing my version of that story, that okay, this is karmic settlement happening, but I'm getting freer and freer every day. So I would not like to play the victim and feel good about it. And that is why, the biggest challenge that comes up when you want to let go of all the stories that you have carried about yourself, the biggest challenge that comes up is you don't want to give up victim consciousness. You don't want to tell yourself everything good and hale and hearty happened in my life story. So, Baba is giving us that story, but we are not telling it to ourselves because we don't want to give up this victim consciousness. And you have to come to that point where you understand that, my awareness decides everything that happens to me, and then, my future, my fortune, everything. So I have to clean my awareness. And I have to take Baba's story and keep repeating it to myself, because that's the true story. And the other stuff Ravan gave us. So, it is Kali Yuga. People will be themselves, situation will be what it is. It can't be better than that. But why have I taken it so personally, and why have I taken the pain and sorrow and kept it in my heart? So, Baba says that you have to tell this story to yourself every morning, and only then it will sit in your heart. Yes. And how is it possible to think it didn't happen to me, I was in Baba's lap? So you see, there are many versions. You can think that, I was foolish at that time, so I took it personally. Not just that you were in Baba's lap, I didn't even have the, I didn't even have the understanding to sit in Baba's lap. Baba was always there, but I didn't know how to sit in Baba's lap, and I took it personally. And when I took it personally, it gave me pain. So I have to let go, and it won't give me any pain. So you have to understand, but you have to first accept this thing, that somewhere deep down, when you're holding on to pain, you want to play the victim card. To yourself at least. And this victim consciousness is very huge. It is one of the biggest discoveries that I have made about life and mindsets, and whatever journey I have had, I have discovered this is a very profound thing, that everybody wants to be a victim, not be a victim but play a victim. So you have to believe that I am a victim to play a victim genuinely. But we are not victims. It's just a journey that we have, and things happen. People just behave according to their sanskars, and we take it personally and get hurt. But now Baba says that all this while you didn't know how to see me, you didn't know how to feel my presence, so you took it on. But now you let go of all of that and think about your journey from my vision. How was your journey according to me, and how is your journey according to me? Now leave the past, come to the present. What is your version of the present? What do you think is happening in the present? So we are in the diamond age, but do you feel like you're in the diamond age? Now I am in Baba's lap, right? Earlier I didn't know Baba, okay, fine. But now I am sitting in Baba's lap, but am I feeling it? Am I thinking about it? Am I seeing Baba all the time, or am I seeing what's happening or what other people are doing? So what is the narrative of my present? That narrative also you have to think about. Not just about the narrative of your past, but the narrative of your present. Are you looking at this person is the trouble of my life, and this person, there was this one person and they told me something very bizarre. They said, I come to Baba with just one thought, that this particular person should die, because that is the reason why I have all the troubles in my life. And I said, so you come to Baba to say that, Baba, I want your child to die. And do you think that Baba gives you blessings when you say that? Because the one you're talking about is Baba's child. So you think about it, you see, and I told that person that you have been coming for 6 months and Baba is giving you so much, knowledge, love, peace, everything. You are not receiving anything. You're only fixated with that one idea. So just think about where your focus is right now. And do you think about the present as the most beautiful time of your journey? Yes. So there's somebody in the family, senior died, and then the Mata didn't cry, and then, she tried to calm everybody down, and then the husband scolded. So people want to, this is the way things happen. And in the world, victim playing, sadness, sorrow, these things are encouraged a lot. You are encouraged to take sorrow, feel sorrow. Even when you go to a psychologist, they will tell you that if you can't feel the negative emotions, then you're not normal. So you must be able to feel the positive emotions and the negative emotions. And then they say that, if you're not able to feel sorrow or you're not able to cry, then that's not normal. But Baba says, yes, maybe without knowledge that may not be normal. But when you have knowledge and you understand, then through that understanding you can overcome all these negative emotions. Through that power of yoga you can overcome all these negative emotions. So Baba tells us that this is the story that is your true story, and keep telling this to yourself early in the morning, and keep remembering Baba and experiencing the fruits and the fortune of this Sangam Yuga. and then your heart will be full of happiness, and all day you will spend in happiness. So this is first thing that Baba says. And then associated with this, there is another point. There are many different points in the Murli today, but associated with this, there is another point, that when you know the whole story, when you know the beginning, middle and end, you don't dislike anyone or anything. Yes, and this is a very profound thing that Baba says, because you see, when you know a person also, from even this birth, when you know somebody's journey from the beginning till the end, you can never hate them. Yes, that's why you don't hate your brothers and sisters, Lokik, because you know their whole journey. I remember there was this one brother and sister, they came, and the brother was heavily into drugs, and he was doing some cheating and robbing and all of that stuff also. But the sister had so much love for that brother, and she kept saying, my brother is the sweetest one on earth. And I said, but he's stealing and robbing and he's doing drugs, so what do you have to say about that? So she said, he had a very difficult childhood, Didi. And anybody in his position would do that. So I don't blame him. I don't blame anybody, but I don't blame him also. I just want him to do well. So where does that compassion come from? That compassion comes from knowing his whole journey and knowing where that, where the vice came from, or why is that person the way he is. And if you look at the unlimited drama, then you know that every soul started out as the best. When they started out in their original sanskars, they were pure, they were clean, they were doing good karma. And then slowly, gradually, because of Ravan, everything changes and they are doing what they are doing. But then this is the time to change back. And if this soul again makes effort, they can become the best version of themselves. So if you uphold this knowledge in your awareness, then you will have no dislike for anyone. You will have no dislike for anything. You will not have, so many people say, what is the state of the world today, or the country today, or the religion today? But if you look at the beginning, middle and end, the whole story, this Bharat was golden age, and this is going to be golden age. So how can you dislike anything about this Bharat? Or how can you dislike anything about any religion, because they all started out as pure. So Baba says that when you keep this whole story in your awareness, and I have always shared this story that, there was this one person who was traveling with his son in the train, and the son was 13, 14 years old, and he kept looking out of the window and asking, what is that, Papa, and what is this, Papa? And then the father explained with a lot of love, this is a tree, this is a lamppost, this is a pond, this is a forest. And then everybody who was listening to it got very irritated. They said, he's a 12, 13-year-old and he's asking such stupid questions, and you are also answering it. And our heads are aching now, because every second he's asking a new question. So then the father said, I beg pardon, but you see, he was born blind, and just now he got operated and I'm taking him back. So then everybody's heart changed, and they also started telling him the details of whatever he was asking. So you see, the moment you understand the whole truth, all the dislike goes away. Yes, and you see, you don't like somebody's behavior or something, and then they get diagnosed with depression or anxiety these days, and then you understand that they had this issue and it's just that you didn't know, and then your heart changes into compassion. But Baba says these are limited ways to change your heart, but if you look at the unlimited story, that everybody started out as originally pure, peaceful, loveful, blissful, powerful, but then all this happened in the journey, and now is the time to change. So I look at them as they are going to be, and that will finish all dislike. Okay, Om Shanti.